You're listening to the Unstoppable Teen Podcast, episode number 5. Welcome to Unstoppable Teen, the podcast for teenagers, parents, and teachers. My name is Kevin Mincher. Every week, we will bring you an inspirational person or message to help you experience more success and happiness. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's get this party started. Hello Unstoppable Nation, it's Kevin Mincher here and welcome to the show. In this episode we're going to look at what to do when you get results for high school tests and exams. So much focus is placed on what to do to get the grades that you want. But then, after you've completed a test or an exam, there's that horrible period of time where you've got to sit and wait for the results. And nobody ever really teaches us how to deal with the results when they come out. I mean, really, there's two kinds of results. There's good ones and bad ones. You either get the results that you wanted or you don't. And so what I want to do in this episode is give you a 4-step process of what to do if you got the grades that you wanted, so you can keep that momentum moving forwards and take your success to the next level. I also want to take some time to give you a 4-step strategy for dealing with it if you didn't get the grades that you wanted. If you messed up, if you didn't get the results that you're after, how do you respond? How do you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go again? That's what this episode is all about. It's exam result season here in the UK. I know it's not exam result season all around the world, so this is one of those episodes that you can save and come back to time and time again. And in truth, the two 4-step strategies I'm going to give you, the one for dealing with success and the one for dealing with failure, can be applied to anything. I'm talking about high school grades because it's a hot topic in my nation right now, but actually you can use this for sporting results, you can use this for results to do with your health, results to do with your confidence, results to do with your career, your finances. You can apply these strategies to literally any area of your life where you want to succeed. I've been working with teenagers now for 2 whole decades. And in that time, I've been called upon by more than 250 schools, colleges and universities to help their students get better grades. More than 300,000 young people have gone through my programs. So if you're going through high school tests and exams for the first time ever, or you're relatively inexperienced, then I know that there's going to be a huge amount of valuable content and ideas in this session that you could put to use and to help you. And whether you're a student yourself waiting for your grades, maybe you're a parent hoping that your child gets some decent grades, or maybe you're even a teacher where you've got a class full or a school full of young people that you're hoping live up to their potential. Either which way, there's going to be some great stuff in this session and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. Okay, so what do you do when you get the results that you wanted? Here are 4 steps that will help you embrace the success that you've just experienced and propel you forwards into the next chapter of your life. Step 1, when you get the results that you wanted, is to make sure that you celebrate. I know that sounds like an obvious thing, but a lot of people don't do it. They put in years of hard work to succeed in high school. People talk about what an epic thing the Olympic Games are because they only come around every 4 years. Well, for high schoolers, you're only going to take your finals, tests and exams once. They came around like 16 years of work. 18 years of your life were building up to this really important occasion. And if you've gone through 16 or 18 years worth of your life and you finally got some fantastic results, that deserves celebrating. Now, I'm not one for celebrating with things that are like lavish and expensive gifts. I don't believe that it's necessary to buy myself a diamond ring, a chunk of gold, a massive car, or whatever it may be to honour the work that I've put in. That's just my take on it. I would rather have internal rewards rather than external rewards. Sure, it's nice if your parents buy you a gift or somebody gives you a present to say, well done for the work. But what you've got to do is you've got to congratulate yourself and celebrate on the inside. It's the inside that matters. That's where your self-worth is. That's where your self-esteem is. And it's important, I think, that you take time to look back on all the effort that you've put in and to honour yourself for that hard work. And sometimes the best way to do that is to take yourself off on your own. I used to go to the top of the big hill that would look over my town where I was born and raised, and I would watch the sun setting. And while I was there, I would just congratulate myself. I know it sounds a bit strange, but I'd give myself a big pat on the back. I'd give myself praise for all the work that I put in and the results that I got. So I encourage you to find a way to celebrate. You see, here's the thing, folks. What you need to do when you're celebrating is you've got to make your brain link pleasure to learning and succeeding. And all too often, people let their moments of victory pass by and they don't anchor it into their heart and into their soul. They don't condition themselves for more success and more happiness. If you have a moment of victory, you get your results and you'll open up the envelope and you pull out the certificate that's inside and the grades are there that you wanted, don't make that mistake of just shoving it back in the envelope and going about your day as if it was just any other day. You need to train your brain to pursue more happiness and more success and more learning and more growth in the future. And the way you do that is to link pleasure to learning, to link happiness to success. And you do that by celebrating. So get creative. You don't have to follow the crowd and do what everybody else does. You might want to do that. You might want to book a table at your favourite restaurant. You might want to invite friends around to your place, get the banners up and get the balloons up and play some games together. It's entirely up to you. But whatever you do, take some time to bathe in the endorphins that are released. Take some time to soak up that smile that's on your face. Go and walk along a beach. Jump into a hot tub. Do whatever you need to do to celebrate the great success that you've had. Then, in step 2, what you need to do is self-reflect. All too often, when people succeed, they get carried away with celebrating and they don't study the reasons why they were successful. They don't take time to learn the valuable lessons of what it was that created the results that they're now so proud of. And that's a lost opportunity. So I encourage you to get your journal out. If you haven't got a journal, go buy one. And just take a little bit of time to answer 2 really simple questions, but really important questions. First thing is this, is what went well? If you look back on all the things that you did that led to the results that you got, what went well? Did you seek expert advice? Did you surround yourself with positive peer group? Did you dedicate a certain amount of time each day or each week? Did you have a strong work ethic? Did you make sure that you upgraded your study skills so that you were able to do things like effective note-taking, mind mapping, speed reading? What went well? What was it that you did that contributed to producing the fantastic results that you got? And the second question you need to ask yourself when you're journaling is, what could you do better next time? No matter how good your results were, there's always room for improvement. And sometimes when we get a success, we let ourselves off the hook and we don't allow ourselves to learn what we could have done better. We get carried away with the celebrations and we miss the opportunity to learn something. And then we end up making mistakes in the next chapter of our lives. So by taking a little bit of time out to say, well, what could I do even better next time? Could I have improved my nutrition? Could I have managed my stress levels better? Are there certain apps or social media websites or places that you could have gone to get better information? Could you have asked for more help in classes at an earlier stage in your preparations? What could you have done to have improved your performance? And if you document those lessons, you can take them forwards with you into that next chapter of your life, whatever the next challenge is and the next goal is that you're going to pursue. That then leads us to step 3, which is all about setting your next goal. Momentum is a very difficult thing to get. And when you get some good grades, when you're feeling on top of the world, when it feels like you're in the zone, it's important to embrace that moment and set your next goal. Establish another target. Figure out what you want your next aim to be and connect with that desire inside yourself. So keep that journal out and start writing down, what do I want to pursue next? What do I want to achieve next? What do I really want to accomplish? What am I passionate about? What am I going to go for? And as you write those things down, select the thing that's most important to you, the thing that you value the most, the thing that, if I could achieve anything, what would it be? It's really important that you catch that moment while you've got the momentum, while you're feeling motivated and inspired, and start to make some decisions about what you want to do with your future. Step 4 is all about understanding that what got you here won't get you there. What do I mean? Well, here in Britain, we have 2 levels of tests in high school. When you're 16, you currently take some tests that are called GCSEs. And then between the ages of 16 and 18, when you get to 18, you complete some tests that are called A-levels, or in other words, advanced levels. Now, if you succeed at GCSE level, at that level when you're 16, the study skills that you used, the practices that you had for doing your homework, the routines that you had in your day-to-day life that produce the results at your 16 years of age level are unlikely to be good enough to produce the results that you want to get when you're 18. It's a different level. It's an advanced level. You're going to have to upgrade your skills. You're going to have to upgrade your mindset. You're going to have to upgrade your resilience. You're going to have to upgrade your work ethic. You're going to have to upgrade the number of questions and the quality of questions that you ask. You're going to have to upgrade the quality of your surroundings, the media that you consume. You're going to have to upgrade, folks, because what got you here won't get you there. You see, where you're heading is a new level. It's a higher standard. It's the next goal. So once you've set your goals, in step 3, it's important that you then start taking action to pursue them. And it's important that you are aware that you're going to have to make some changes. No matter how good your results were in the past, there are some things that you're going to need to change and improve for the future. So you've got to be brave enough to step outside your comfort zone. You've got to be critical enough of yourself sometimes to let go of some of the things that are outdated habits. You've got to upgrade and go for the next level. These are the 4 steps of what to do when you get the results that you wanted. Step 1 is about celebrating and anchoring in that joy, linking pleasure to learning and succeeding. Step 2, self-reflect. Figure out what you did well so you can do it again in the future, and figure out what you need to do better next time, your areas for improvement. Step 3 is all about setting the next goal and using the momentum that you've got. And then step 4 is about understanding that what got you here won't get you there, and you're going to need to upgrade, upskill in order to take your results and your life to the next level. I hope you found that useful. Now it's time to think about what steps we're going to need to take if we did not get the results that we wanted. Few things are more upsetting to me than turning up at a high school on exam results day and observing students that are opening their certificate of achievement and discover that they did not get the results that they wanted, nor did they get the grades that they were capable of. I figured that really what we need to do here is provide students with a strategy to get themselves out of those difficult times. Schools do a fantastic job of helping their students equip and prepare and get ready for the tests and exams. But oftentimes when the results come out, young people feel like there's nobody there to support them. If they didn't get the grades that they're after, where do I turn now? I'm not a student at the school anymore. Who's going to counsel me? Who's going to coach me? Who's going to show me the way to turn it around? So here are my 4 steps, a strategy that anybody can use, that if you got some results that you didn't want, you can turn things around and you can get yourself back on track. Step 1 is all about understanding that it's not the end of the world. You know, there are few things in life that are permanent. There are few things that are guaranteed and set. I mean, ultimately, we're all born, and at some point in time, we're all gonna die. And the bit in between is up for discussion and debate and challenge, and sometimes good things will happen and sometimes bad things will happen. But nothing that happens in there is permanent except death itself. You know, all too often young people get brainwashed by society into thinking that their high school grades are the be-all and end-all. And if you mess that up, then it's as if, well, what's the point in me living anymore? And it's a ridiculous conclusion to come to. The fact is, it's not the end of the world if you didn't get the grades that you wanted. And here's why. You can retake tests and exams. You can boost your grades. You can go again. Or if you don't want to do that, you can take a different path in life and you can succeed. I want to share with you 10 real life stories of people whose names you've probably heard. Successful and famous people from throughout history who utterly failed but still took their life to greatness. Ever heard of a guy called Thomas Edison? Do you know him? He's the guy that invented the electric light bulb. And he was told by his teacher that he was too stupid to learn anything. What? How do you go from apparently being too stupid to learn anything in school to become one of the greatest inventors of all time? Albert Einstein, you know him? Won the Nobel Prize, a master of science and physics. He had difficulty communicating in learning in the traditional manner that schools want you to, where you've got to sit at a desk and you've got to do things a certain way. He struggled in school, yet he goes on to do incredible things and make profound discoveries throughout his career. Sir Isaac Newton, another scientist, his mother pulled him out of school because she believed that you only needed to get the basics. And she pulled him out of school when he was a boy so he could run the family farm. But he goes on to become one of the greatest scientists. He went to University of Cambridge here in the UK. He went back to school. He went back to university, becomes an incredible mathematician. And many of the scientific theories that shaped the world today came out of that man's brilliant mind. Sir James Dyson went through 5,000 failed prototypes before he made the Dyson vacuum cleaner that many of us have in our homes today. 5,000 failures? You didn't just fail 5,000 high school tests and exams. You barely scratched the surface of failure. You see, the fact is failure is a part of success. And that was something that was learned by a guy called Dick Cheney. Ever heard of him? Don't necessarily agree with his politics, but he became the Vice President of the United States. He dropped out of Yale University after finding it difficult to, adjust to the culture there and to the classes that he was taking. He then returned only to drop out again at a later date. See, failure, it's not permanent. It's not the end of the world if you don't get the results that you wanted the first time you tried. Steven Spielberg, you know him? You've probably watched dozens of his movies. Arguably the greatest movie maker of all time. But did you know that he was rejected by the University of Southern California School of Cinematic Arts multiple times? Not just once. He applied again, and he kept getting rejected. It's not the end of the world, folks, if you fail at something. Ang Lee, have you watched any of his movies? I think he's won 3 Academy Awards now. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was one of them. He failed Taiwan's college entrance exams twice. Come on, you got to forgive yourself if you didn't get it right the first time. It's not the end of the world. Harrison Ford, in his first ever movie role, it was a small part that he played, and a movie executive pulled him on one side, took him into his office afterwards and said that he would never ever succeed in the movie business. And yet, he became one of the most successful and well-paid actors of his entire generation. Lady Gaga was dropped by her record label after just 3 months. She says that she cried and sobbed, but yet she went on to go and build one of the greatest music careers in history. Talking of music, Jay-Z couldn't even get himself a record label. Nobody would sign him. He went from record label to record label, knocking on doors, sharing his mixtapes, and nobody would take him. Today, he has his own record label. He's one of the most sought-after artists in the world. He's an investor, and he is apparently worth around about $500 million. That's 500 million US dollars. Incredible. Yet the dude failed so many times before he got to his success. So step 1, folks, if you didn't get the grades that you wanted, look at all the great people throughout history. That's just 10 great people that failed before they succeeded. And if you didn't get the grades that you wanted today, this week, or at some other point in the future, you get a result that you didn't want, it's not the end of the world. That's step 1. In step 2, you have to make a decision about what kind of future you want to have. Are you going to allow this little setback, this little hiccup, these grades, these results that you didn't want to get, are you going to let that dictate the rest of your life? Are you going to let something that you did at the age of 15, 16, 17 or 18 determine the next decade of your life, the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? Just because something didn't work out in your teenage years? Are you really going to do that? It doesn't have to be that way. You have to make a decision right now, today, about the kind of future you want to have. It's entirely your freedom of choice to do that. It's your right. And if you want to accept second best, which I doubt you do, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. People that want to accept second best for life just don't listen to Unstoppable Teen. They listen to Unstoppable Teen because they want to be unstoppable. They want the best. And that's why I'm guessing you're here. And so you make a decision. In other words, you shut off from all other possibilities. You say, no more. From this day forth, I'm going to do whatever it takes to create the best life for myself. It's been said many times that pain and failure is temporary. But quitting, that lasts forever. And I feel your pain right now. We've all been there at some point in time. If you didn't get the grades that you wanted, I know exactly what you're going through. But that's temporary. You don't have to accept that as your reality forever. You have a choice right now about how you're going to respond. And you can decide to get yourself out of this pain and experience a whole world of joy and happiness. So before you go any further right now, decide what kind of life you want. Are you going to settle for this? Or are you going to step up and take things to the next level? Are you going to go for second best? Or are you going to try and make it all the way to the top? In step 3, I challenge you to learn something from this experience. I know that you wish you never had this experience, but I challenge you to learn something from this experience that will stand you in good stead for the future. Every successful person I've ever met said that they learned more from their failures than they did from their successes. They gained more drive, more motivation, and more insight when things went wrong than when they went right. They looked at their performance and they evaluated their behaviours. And they said, what do I need to do differently? What mistakes do I need to avoid so I don't make them again next time? It's like this. There's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. You just gained some feedback to say that what you did wasn't quite good enough. You've gained some feedback to say that your mindset needs to be changed and upgraded and improved a little bit. You just gain some feedback to say that your daily lifestyle, your habits and your routines doesn't produce the results that you want. You've just gained some feedback that the relationships you have in school and how you communicate with your teachers isn't quite up to scratch yet. You just gain some feedback that you need to upgrade your study skills, improve your memory techniques, gain better critical thinking skills, creative thinking skills. You just gain some feedback that you need to improve your listening skills and your observation skills and your note-taking skills. It's not failure. It's just some feedback to let you know that you need to improve. So you've got to ask yourself those questions. And you need to take some time with your journal to reflect on what did I do well so I can repeat that next time. And you need to drain yourself of all the things that you did well. And then you need to reflect on what could I do better next time? What could I do better with my mind? What could I do better with my body? What could I do better with my emotions? What could I do better with my relationships? What could I do better with my work ethic? What can I do better? Learn those lessons and stop blaming other people for the results. Don't put your focus on the external. Don't be blaming your teachers. Don't be blaming your school. Don't be blaming the government. Don't be blaming anything else. Look at you. Look inside. Have a no excuses culture with yourself and have that courage to look at yourself in the mirror and figure out what you can do better next time. In step 4, I encourage you to use the pain from this experience as a motivational force that will drive you forwards. Don't wallow in self-pity. I understand you're upset, but the more you stay in that depression, in that negative state, in that, oh, nothing good ever happens to me, I'm a failure. No, you're not. You just got a bad result. And now what you need to do is you need to use that pain and that disappointment as a motivational force where you say, never again will I go there. And that starts with setting yourself a new goal. 6 months from now, where do you want to be? 1 year from now, what results do you want to be getting? 3 years from now, what do you want your life to be like? Set yourself some new goals and pursue them with gusto. That is how you get over the disappointment of the negative results that you've just had. As you're pursuing those goals, take a different approach next time than the one you did this time. You know that the approach that you took this time didn't work. So why do it again? It's a definition of insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. There's a quote from Einstein. So if you want different results, you got to be different. It starts with setting a goal, and then you back it up with taking lots of action to make your life better than it already is. So there you go, the 4 steps that you can take if you got results that you did not want. Step 1 is about realising that it's not the end of the world. All great people fail at some time or another. In step 2, you've got to make a decision about what kind of future you want to have. And in step 3, you've got to learn something from this bad experience that will stand you in good stead moving forwards into the future. In step 4, use the pain as a motivational force and drive yourself towards some new goals that really do inspire you. Maybe you're listening to this knowing that you want to succeed in school at some point over the next few weeks, months, or even years. Or maybe there's somebody in your life that you really care about that you want to help succeed in school. If that's true, if that's you, then I would encourage you to have a little look at my Get the Grades You Want seminar that I deliver in schools. This apparently has become the most attended student success seminar in the UK over the last couple of decades. More than 250,000 young people have attended this single seminar. I love delivering it because it's packed not just with hope and motivation, but with practical strategies that young people can use immediately to learn more quickly and accelerate their progress in school and get better grades. If you like the sound of that and you'd like me to come to your school to work with you, your classmates, your students, your child, or whoever it may be, then please go visit our website, unstoppableschools.com, or ping us an email at info@unstoppableschools.com. Wherever you are in the world, I would love to come to your community and help you achieve more in school. If you gain something of value out of this session, please do share it with your friends, with your family, and for that matter, anybody else that you think would find it useful. The link to the show notes is unstoppableteen.com/5. That's the number 5 because it's episode 5. unstoppableteen.com/5. And it might be that there's somebody out there that you know that's just got some really good results and they could benefit from the 4 steps of what to do if you got the grades that you wanted, so that you can use this momentum to take yourself to the next level. Of course, it might also be the case that you know somebody that didn't get the results that they wanted, and they need those 4 steps so that they can turn their results around and lift themselves, elevate themselves to a whole new level and get more success than they've ever experienced before. Let me encourage you, as always, to subscribe to the show. You'll find us in iTunes, in SoundCloud, and in Stitcher. And please, if you're in one of those places, give us a 5-star review because that will help us reach more young people around the world. Finally, I want to invite you to send me your questions. Maybe you've got some unique circumstances and you want a bit of extra one-to-one help or advice. You can connect with me on social media, the usual places: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know where to go, @UnstoppableTeen. Send me a message and I will gladly give you whatever guidance I can to help you get the results that you want. Also, let me know what kind of topics you'd like us to cover in future shows. Whatever it is that you want help with, we're here to serve you. So please, take whatever it is that you got out of the show, use it, apply it, pass it on, and become unstoppable. Bye for now.